Shanghai, also known as the Oriental Paris, is China's largest and wealthiest city. It is one of China's most important economic and cultural centers. In terms of modernism, the city rivals New York or Paris, and it has a mix of East and West cultures. It's a popular tourist destination known for both historical sites and modern skylines, and here you will never be bored. Shanghai is the largest city in China and the third largest in the world, with a population of over 27 million in 2021. This figure is comparable to that of Australia or Texas. Stay tuned to find more interesting stuff about Shanghai and what you should visit if you come here. But first, if you are new to our channel, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell for more amazing videos. But how did Shanghai become the biggest city of China? Here is a short history of Shanghai. During the Song dynasty, Shanghai emerged as a small, isolated fishing village. The natural advantages of Shanghai as a deep water port and shipping center were recognized as coastal and inland shipping expanded rapidly. The city was one of the 5 ports forced to open to European trade after the First Opium War. The city then flourished, becoming a primary commercial and financial hub of Asia in the 1930s. During the Second Sino-Japanese War, the city was the site of the major Battle of Shanghai. It was occupied by the Japanese between 1937 and 1945. In 1949, after China became communist, trade was limited to other socialist countries and the city's global influence declined. By the 1990s, the new economic reforms, introduced a decade earlier, resulted in an intense development of the city, especially the Pudong New Area, aiding the return of finance and foreign investment. The city has since re-emerged as a hub for international trade and finance. Shanghai was helped to become the largest city of China by its favorable geographical location on the Yangtze estuary of China's east coast, with the Yangtze River to the north and Hangzhou Bay to the south. The city is centered on the Huangpu River, a tributary of the Yangtze River, and extends outwards in all directions. Here is a map of the central part of the city. If you look over a satellite image of the Lujiazui district, you can easily see the shadows of skyscrapers. Here are the tallest skyscrapers in China. The most iconic skyscraper is the Oriental Pearl Radio and Television Tower. At 468 meters high, it was the tallest structure in China from 1994 to 2007, when it was surpassed by the Shanghai World Financial Center. The tower features 11 spheres, big and small, and the biggest have a diameter of 50 meters. From here, you can admire the other skyscrapers of Shanghai. One of these skyscrapers is the Shanghai World Financial Center, a mixed-use skyscraper consisting of offices, hotels, conference rooms, observation decks, and ground floor shopping malls. With a height of 492 meters, it was the tallest building in China between 2007 and 2013. In 2013, it was exceeded in height by the Shanghai Tower, a 128-story, 632-meter tall skyscraper, the tallest in China and the second tallest in the world. Surely you have noticed that all these skyscrapers are built very recently. Well, less than 30 years ago, Lujiazui district in Shanghai didn't have a single skyscraper built. On the other side of the river is the Bund, a waterfront area and a protected historical district in central Shanghai. From the 1860s to the 1930s, it was the rich and powerful center of the foreign establishment in Shanghai, operating as a legally protected treaty port. Here is a list of the historical buildings you can admire in the Bund. The Customs House, an 8-story building built in 1927 with the clock and bell built in England in imitation of the Big Ben. The Peace Hotel, opened in 1929 and widely known at that time as the #1 mansion in the Far East due to its prime location along the Bund and for its luxury. The Bank of China building, which housed the headquarters of the Bank of China, and the HSBC building, once the Shanghai headquarters of the Hong Kong and Shanghai Banking Corporation, considered in 1923, when it was completed, the most luxurious building between the Suez Canal and the Bering Strait. If you want to admire traditional Chinese architecture, you should visit the old city of Shanghai, the traditional urban core of Shanghai. Here is the city god temple of Shanghai, a Taoist temple known for its architecture and rich history. Originally built in 1403 during the Ming Dynasty, the temple has a rich history which has survived its near destruction and renovation over the years. Old City God Temple enjoys a high status in Shanghai, with an old saying, "One who fails to reach the temple never reaches Shanghai." Another attraction of the old town is the Yu Garden, one of Shanghai's best preserved classical gardens. The garden is an excellent example of the harmonious coexistence between humans and nature, and it features a number of architectural styles from Ming and Qing dynasties. When walking through the garden, keep your eyes on the details rather than the big things like buildings and bridges. The garden's beauty is largely due to the small carvings and sculptures. Close to the Yu Garden is the Yuyuan Bazaar, with a great number of small streets and lanes, where you can find many restaurants, tea houses and shops. Visitors could satisfy a wide range of needs within the market's diverse stores. They can enjoy traditional Chinese architecture, taste local snacks, buy antiques and silk products as gifts for friends or relatives. If you like shopping, you must visit the Nanjing Road, the main shopping district of Shanghai and one of the busiest shopping streets in the world. Over 600 businesses are located here, including multi-level modern shopping malls, historic stores, specialty stores, restaurants, and world-class hotels. You'll find everything from street vendors selling Chinese foods and souvenirs to expensive boutiques selling traditional arts and crafts, as well as a number of mega shopping malls and department stores. Tourists and guests often celebrate various holidays at Nanjing Road, such as the Chinese New Year, New Year's Eve, Christmas, and Easter. Some parts of the buildings and shopping malls seen in front of Nanjing Road may host a fireworks display over the street. If you want to visit some museums in Shanghai, you should not miss the Shanghai Museum, a museum of ancient Chinese art situated on the People's Square in the Huangpu district, and the China Art Museum, a museum of modern Chinese art located in Pudong and one of the largest art museums in Asia. Other famous buildings in Shanghai that worth visiting are the Shanghai Park Hotel, an Art Deco hotel which was the tallest building in Asia from its completion in 1934 until 1963, and the Shanghai Library, the second largest library in China and the second tallest library in the world. Some of Shanghai's buildings feature Soviet neoclassical architecture or Stalinist architecture, the most famous one being the Shanghai Exhibition Center, an exhibition and convention center built in 1955 as the Sino-Soviet Friendship Building. In Shanghai is the first Disneyland park built in mainland China, which blends the magic of Disney and unique cultural elements of China. The park currently has 7 themed areas: Mickey Avenue, Gardens of Imagination, Fantasyland, Treasure Cove, Adventure Isle, Tomorrowland, and Toy Story Land. The colorful nightlife makes Shanghai a sleepless city, which is one of the interesting facts that you should know about this city. When night comes, all lights shine brightly from every direction. But the most beautiful place is the Lujiazui district skyline, with all its skyscrapers lit in colored lights, seen over the river from the Bund. When is the best time to visit Shanghai? Summers are hot and humid, and in winters, northwesterly winds from Siberia can cause nighttime temperatures to drop below freezing. The best times to visit Shanghai are in the spring and autumn because of mild temperatures and clearer air, which are the best travel conditions in China. Visiting in the spring means prime viewing of Shanghai's many flower gardens and green spaces, which offer a brief respite from the build-up feel of the city itself. Autumn offers mild temperatures with less humidity and rainfall to interfere with your excursions. The longest metro system in the world spreads beneath the city of Shanghai with 743 kilometers of tunnels and track. The Shanghai Metro has 467 stations spread throughout the city and connecting major attractions, making it easy to navigate for international visitors. The Shanghai Maglev, which connects Pudong International Airport and downtown Shanghai, was enrolled in 2003 by Guinness Records to be the fastest train in the world in commercial use. It can reach up to 431 km per hour and completes a distance of 30 km in 8 minutes. I hope you enjoyed our video. If you know other interesting places in Shanghai that I forgot to mention, please write about them in a comment below. And remember that you can help our channel to grow by just pressing the like button and by sharing this video with your friends.